sense? Okay. These two, T3 and T4, do what? T3 and T4, very important hormones, T3 and T4, increases metabolism, metabolic activities of the body. Make sense? So thyroid hormones T3 and T4 increases the metabolic activities of the body. Now you tell me, have you heard the term hyperthyroidism? Anybody? Hyperthyroidism? She did. Okay. So hyper means what? More or less? More. Okay. So its name is telling you, right? It's not difficult. Hyperthyroidism. And another condition is opposite, hypothyroidism. So if your thyroid gland produces more thyroid hormones, more than normal, that is called what? Hyperthyroidism. If your thyroid gland is producing less than normal, then hypothyroidism. Both are not good, right? We need normal amount. For normal amount of metabolism, right? Now you tell me, if hyperthyroidism occurs, then in that case the metabolism will be what? Accelerated. More, right? More metabolism in the body. Even when you are resting, the metabolism is what? High in the body. So everybody tell me, if in your body metabolism is high, the heart rate will be more or less? More. Because it just think simple. When metabolism increases, like you do exercise, right? Metabolism increases. What happens? Heart rate goes up. How about heat? Up, right? Heat is produced in the body more, right? So we know that already, that increased metabolism will increase heart rate, increase body temperature, right? So if you touch the body of that person, although in resting sitting condition, right, relaxed condition, that body will be slightly what? Warmer. Make sense? Heart rate will be slightly higher or lower? Higher. Make sense? In resting condition, more than normal people. Blood pressure could go up because of increased metabolism. Okay? And now you tell me, if someone suffers from prolonged hyperthyroidism, you are not giving any treatment, then the body weight will increase or decrease? Decrease. Because metabolism more, right? So fats are being used. So the person will be skinny. Make sense? And also other conditions we know, that the person will be cranky, sleeplessness. Less if your metabolism is high, right? You're like kind of restless. You're feeling restless. And the sleep, disturbance in sleep, sleeplessness, that happens. Okay? And if you don't sleep regularly, then what will happen? You will get what? Irritating, right? Like you are not a sound person. You are always cranky and gets angry. So those are the signs of hyperthyroidism. Hypothyroidism, if you touch the person's body, is always colder than normal person. Okay? So because less metabolism. If metabolism is low, right? Less heat is produced. You know that. So the person will always be fatigued, less ATP production, so those other things. Okay, so those are T3 and T4. Calcitonin, this one has different action. It lowers the calcium. in the blood, lowers the calcium in the blood. So calcium regulation. So those are thyroid hormones. So if in someone's body calcitonin is produced more than normal, then what will happen? The person's calcium concentration will go down a lot, and that is called hypocalcemia. Hypocalcemia. Okay, that happens if the calcitonin secretion increases. That's the hypercalcemia, and the opposite is hypocalcemia. Okay. So here you see the thyroid gland. This is the isthmus. This is the lateral muscles. Okay. Now, the endocrine secretion from the glands are controlled by negative feedback mechanism. So the hormones, the secretion of hormones is controlled by negative feedback mechanism. What is that? You know, this is hypothalamus, this is pituitary, you already know that, and hypothalamus sends signal to the pituitary. Then pituitary is the master gland, it sends signal to the other glands. For example, this is your thyroid gland. Okay? So, hypothalamus will send signal to the pituitary. Pituitary will release thyroid stimulating hormone. We already know this is one hormone of anteropituitary, and that will go to the thyroid and will stimulate the thyroid to release the T3, T4 thyroid hormones. Okay, so in the blood, the concentration of T3 and T4 will gradually go up. Again, I am saying hypothalamus sends signal to the pituitary. Pituitary releases the hormone that will go to that target gland and will stimulate, so the hormone will be released here. And when the hormone in the blood will reach to a certain level, then what will happen? It should not go up above the upper limit. So in that case, an inhibitory signal will go to the pituitary as well as to the hypothalamus. Negative or inhibition will go to the pituitary as well as to the hypothalamus, and will tell them, okay, slow down, don't send any more signal. In the blood, the hormone is already, enough hormone is there. So inhibit the pituitary, inhibit the hypothalamus, and that's the negative feedback mechanism. In most cases, the hormone secretion is regulated by negative feedback mechanisms. Okay. Okay. This is just example of one gland. It happens in other glands too. Same way. Myxedema is a clinical condition that happens due to hypothyroidism, decreased thyroid hormone production. So this is a clinical condition. In this case, what happens, the face of the patient, you will see the fluid has accumulated in the face. So puffy face, like edema or fluid has accumulated in the face. Okay, and this happens more in women of middle age. Okay? If thyroid hormone is malfunctioning or destroyed or removed by surgery, that will lead to myxedema. The person's face will look like soft, puffy face. And treatment, you will give thyroxine from outside, thyroid hormone. So that is the treatment. Goiter. Goiter is enlargement of thyroid gland. Normally, you don't see the thyroid gland from outside, but in goiter, what happens? The thyroid gland gets bigger, enlargement of the thyroid gland. So you can see from outside that thyroid has enlarged, and that is goiter. Here you see the person's huge, enlargement of thyroid gland, right? So that you can see here, this big mass, goiter. Have you seen this patient, goiter? No? Yes? No? Which add-on is needed for T3 and T4? Iodine, right? Iodine. Or iodine, whatever you say. Now, if someone doesn't get enough iodine, okay, with food, what happens? The thyroid secretion doesn't occur because thyroid is not produced. Make sense? So, the fluid starts to accumulate in the thyroid gland. That is called protein. Protein. Name is colloid. Accumulates inside the thyroid. Because what happens, that iodine binds with this protein to produce T3 and T4. Now, if you don't get iodine from outside, that protein will not bind with iodine, so protein will start to accumulate inside the thyroid gland because it's not being used up. Make sense? Protein is not being used to produce T3 and T4. So it will start to build up inside the thyroid gland. So thyroid gland will become what? Bigger. Make sense? So that is called what? Goiter. Makes sense, right? So protein will not bind with iodine, will not produce T3, T4. So protein will start to accumulate. Okay? And in third world countries, if you go to Africa, okay, in a remote area, you see many kids have goiter. They suffer from goiter. Why? Because they don't get enough iodine-rich food. Okay. Now, if you give them iodine, T3 and T4 will be produced more, so that protein will be used up. Okay. So it will shrink.
So is that what provided to get rid of that?
Yes, that will shrink a lot. Yeah, unless it's due to other, tumor or something like that. That's a different condition. Okay. So it will the colloid, that protein will now bind with iodine. If you give iodine, okay, orally, will produce T3 and T4. Okay, there is another condition that is called Graves' disease. This one occurs due to prolonged hyperthyroidism. If someone suffers from hyperthyroidism for a long time, that will lead to this clinical condition that is called Graves' disease. This is the last thing I am mentioning today. So, in Graves' disease, you can easily identify what happens. Fats accumulate in some unusual areas of the body. Fat accumulates where? unusual areas of the body. For example, fat starts to accumulate behind the eyeball. Now you tell me, if fat accumulates behind the eyeball, what will happen? It will push the eyeballs outwards, right?
Oh, that's even better.
Okay. That can also cause the lesion of the optic nerve, that cause the problem in vision. But first thing is, you see here, fat accumulates, okay? So that will push the eyeballs, what? Outwards, forward. So it will, you'll feel that the eyeballs are coming out, protruded eyeballs, okay? Tremor, fine tremor, shaking, okay? May happen. Goiter, weight loss. I mentioned that hyperthyroidism increases metabolism, so weight loss, nervousness, excitability, irritability.
So you have weight loss and then also weight gain, or like fat gain?
Fat gain, that's not weight gain, okay? It's a different, abnormal locations, not everywhere. Certain locations, abnormal distribution of fat in the body, okay? I mentioned most of these, right? The heart rate will go up because this is a hyperthyroidism condition, prolonged hyperthyroidism. So heart rate is high, weight loss, nervousness, excitability or irritability, polydipsia. The person will be thirsty often, diarrhea. So just remember, those are some signs of Graves' disease, which is prolonged hyperthyroidism. Okay, so let's stop here.
Does the head ever, does the eye ever pop out of the head, like entirely?
No, that will not happen, because before that happens, you will have other problems. That must, happen.
But also, what do the doctors do? Are your eyes stuck like out, or?
There's some medicine that will start at first.
So gradually.
Did you do the last one?
First is like, we give you the medicine that will increase the thyroid activity, the hormone secretion, right? So the body is taking care of it.